Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
You are listening to the Brilliance Business Show. I am your host, Mark Stephen Pooler. Conversations with leading experts in business. And today I have a wonderful guest, Gayle Edwards, the personal brand disruptor. And our topic today is standing up in your hallelujah. So this is a really, really exciting conversation today. Gayle, welcome to the Brilliance Business Show.
Oh, thank you, Mark. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so looking forward to our conversation.
I'm really looking forward to a conversation with you today, Gayle. Before I get started, I need to make a legal disclaimer that Gayle is not offering legal advice or legal assistance.
So you're in the wrong place for that.
So let's get started with the show. Gayle, will you share with our listeners a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Thank you so much. So I'm known as the personal brand disruptor, as you've just lovingly introduced me as. And really what I do is I work with disruptive entrepreneurs who are a little bit square pegged, to be honest. So, sometimes you have that feeling that either you don't quite fit in or you don't quite subscribe to the norm. I work with those kind of entrepreneurs. I literally provide them with their square hole. And the reason why I do that is because I'm quite disruptive myself, hence the personal brand disruptor. And how it started was I've been running my business now. This is my 21st year. So, I'm not new to this. I'm just true to it, but not new to it. And it's been really a real organic development over those 21 years, starting out very much as a marketing consultant, sales, PR, all that sort of stuff when it was just one department. That's how old I am. When it was one person doing that one job rather than whole departments doing it. And, but I found I was always more interested in the people than the actual campaigns. So that led me to coaching, which led me to NLP and various other personal development tools, profiling, talent dynamics, Myers-Briggs, DISC, all that kind of stuff. And I suppose what's happened over the past, let's say, 10 years or so is everything that I've done, all my experience, expertise and skills have all just gone into one big melting pot. And out of it has come this wonderful personal branding program, coaching, mentoring, training that covers so many different spectrums for people, like I said, especially entrepreneurs and business owners who are looking for something. They're not looking for the one size fits all. They're looking for something that's a little bit different, that's really going to help them be their true selves, but also be their successful selves, their authentic selves. And I've shown up in all of my disruptiveness and have found that I'm providing that service for them.
And a lot of people do struggle, don't they, Gayle, with getting their messaging correct. Even myself a little bit. You kind of so busy and focused in your business, you forget who you are. So my next question would be to you, because I want to know what standing up in your hallelujah is, but also the problems that clients face when they come to you. What are they struggling with, Gayle?
Well, I'm a big believer in you give people what they need, which is not always the same as what they want. So people show up to me really. More and more they're showing up with messaging challenges, but really they're showing up with me because they're finding it really difficult to connect with their audience. They normally show up with that thing whereby they can't find, or they're finding it difficult to create their ideal client avatar, which is something that always makes me laugh. So I think Why do you need an ideal client avatar? Why don't you just be yourself and connect with them from that perspective? But anyhow, hence the square peg round hole scenario. But also they show up with to me because they're not making enough money in their business. So they're not making enough money, or they're inconsistent. They haven't got the client base they want. They don't feel like they're really being themselves. They're being told to do things that don't resonate with them. So that's what they show up to me with. What I give them, however, is the fundamentals. And the fundamentals is clarity and confidence in their messaging. Because if you're not clear or confident about exactly who you are, not even exactly what your business is or your client is or what your client wants, all of that comes later. But if you're not clear about who you are, who are you really? Who are you showing up as when you're dealing with your clients, when you're representing yourself? Who are you being? And my answer to that is always you need to be yourself. Now, that seems like really simple advice, and a lot of people think, well, yeah, I can do that, until you put them to the test and you ask them that vital question, what do you do? Now, if you cannot answer that question in 20 words or less, that really makes sense and connect with your audience, then you need me. That's when you realize you have a messaging challenge. And that's when we get to work. Because standing up in your own hallelujah is about grounding you so deep in your identity that when it comes to having impact and influence, which is the answer to those questions, what do you do? When it comes to having impact and influence, you're able to say it just like that, really quick, to the point. That also creates intrigue, because business is about building relationship. It's about having conversations that provide you with connection. It's not about pitching. It's not about presenting a proposal as such. It's about genuinely being able to connect with your client, your audience, so that you can have a relationship with them.
And some great points there, Gayle. And like you say, people think they're being themselves. I was exactly the same. But when you do get some help and support from someone like Gayle, it just gives you instant clarity and makes you look at things in a whole different way. And when you put the pieces together and get your messaging correct, you are being truly yourself, and that makes your life and business development so much easier. You have to take little steps along the way to get it all together, but then it makes the process so much easier. Would you agree with me there, Gayle?
Absolutely. I hear people struggle all the time. I work with people around their hallelujah statements, as I call them, which is their grounding statement. That's the statement that helps them to anchor themselves regardless of what's going on around them. Because, as entrepreneurs and business owners, we sometimes get attacks of that, self-doubt. We sometimes even self-sabotage ourselves. But also we're in businesses where cash flow is king. And our cash flow is not always flowing the way we want it to. So sometimes you can get tied up into opportunities that aren't really either helping your business, or then they're not juicing you. Let's just put it like that. They're not juicing you, but you've got to do it because you've got the bills to pay. When you have a hallelujah statement that really is authentic to yourself, it helps to act as a filter so that you can filter out those opportunities. So, for example, let's give your listeners an example so they know exactly what I'm speaking about. My hallelujah statement is that I'm a very powerful and intuitive, disruptive entrepreneur. And I create and provide transformational solutions for people who like to heal others, teach others, and learn from others. Now, that grounds me. So when things come my way, if it doesn't fit into that filter, it's a very automatic no. And when you can say an automatic no, it gives more power to your yeses. For example, during this lockdown period, I was asked to participate in this fabulous collaboration book, The Law of Brand Attraction, where 24 of us from the Brand Builders Club, shared our success strategies. And I wasn't even in the space. When that book was first being talked about, I was not in that space. But one of my colleagues was, someone that I work with very closely that knows me very well. And she rang me up and she said, you absolutely have to be a part of this book. I was like, what book? She said, look, just send them a message and say yes. We'll talk about the details afterwards. And I was like, okay. So that point is about having enough impact and influence that other people are able to talk about you when you're not there. They're able to refer you when they're not there, and they're able to also help you leverage your own business when you're not there. They're part of that's pillar number 2 and 3 of my disruptive personal branding process. But number 1, identity, when I heard more about the book and what it was about, I ran it through my hallelujah statement. Is it going to help people? Is it going to teach people? And is it going to help them to learn? Yes, it is. Great. It's an automatic yes. It's an emphatic and empowered yes. And that's the beauty of having a statement that really fully grounds you. And it sounds really simple, but as you know, Mark, you've been through the process. It's not simple to be yourself. You think you are, but I suppose what I do in a nutshell is I really help people. I give people permission to be themselves. I let them know it's okay to be, you don't have to put on this cloak of formality, as I call it. You can be your full authentic self and still serve powerfully and successfully.
Great points there, Gayle. And you said it beautifully. I had the impression that you have to be really business and professional, and I had lost myself a little bit. And what Gayle did for me, she did give me permission to be that fun person who I really, really am. So I'm finding now that I'm enjoying my business a lot more because I'm coming from my authentic self. I was being myself, but it was just so formal and professional, and just knowing that you can be yourself. And with the wording, I wanted it to be more professional, and then I've come to more fun words and even put the word fun in there so that I attract people who are just like me. So you said Absolutely. That beautifully, Gayle. Now, you mentioned the law of brand attraction. Congratulations with the success of this incredible book, which has gone to international bestseller in many countries.
6 countries.
Well done on the success of this amazing project. Tell us just a little bit more about the law of brand attraction and also how listeners can grab a copy of that, Gayle.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So the law of brand attraction is really, like I said, there's 24 of us, and the common thread with all of us is that we're all members of the Brand Builders Club. And Brand Builders Club is a membership which is founded and run by Sammy Blindell, and it's all about a community that helps people to literally build their brand. It does what it says on the tin. And this book came about as a collaboration between 24 of us, which includes Bob Doyle from The Secret and also Marie Diamond from The Secret. Okay. And Bob wrote the foreword, and Bob is part of our community and has been for quite some time. And the book, what I love about the book more than anything else is that there are lots of business books around. Okay. But what I love about this book in particular is that each one of us not just shares our story of how we've come to be doing what it is that we do, but normally you read a book and you think, yeah, that was a really good book. You might make some notes in the, in the margin at the side, or if you've got a Kindle now, bookmark it, whatever. But normally once you finish that book, you tend to put it down and not really go back to it. What I love about this book is at the end of every single chapter by every single author, there are contact details. So if this book really moves you and inspires you, which it has done already, we've had readers that have reached out to us already. I've got some readers who are now clients of mine as a result of reading the book. If this book moves you, then reach out to the person who has really resonated with you the most in the book. Reach out to that person through their contact details that are at the end of their chapter. This is how you start to form, yet again, a connection, a relationship. They may be able to not only provide you with what you're looking for, but they may even be able to connect you with somebody else as well. And that's what I love about the book. It's very far-reaching. It's not just about picking up a book, being inspired and putting it back down. And of course, the beauty of it is that every single penny from the book goes towards Clear Sky Children's Charity. You know, we're living in some very, very weird times at the moment. And as adults, we're finding it weird. Can you imagine as a child? They're going to be living with the effects of this for years to come, probably throughout the rest of their lives. You know, this era that we're living in is going to have a profound effect on them. And Clear Sky provides emotional resources, tools and resources to help with their emotional and mental well-being. So I'm all for that. So on every level, it's a win-win-win, the law of brand attraction.
And how can people grab a copy of this, Gayle?
Ooh, I tell you, the best way to grab a copy is to head over to Amazon and download it on Kindle, but it's also available in paperback as well.
Thank you so much for that, Gayle. Now, I want to touch a little bit on the product and the service that you provide your clients. Can you share with our listeners the kinds of products and services that are available with yourself?
Oh, gosh, yeah. So I'm all about simplicity. I like to keep things really, really simple. So I work in a couple of ways. And it's funny you were saying before, Mark, you know, that how fun is such an essential element of what you do as well. And I'm exactly the same. My work is really deep, and people think that once they go through this first part about getting their hallelujah, their impact statements, they go through those first 5 pillars of branding, they think that's it. Unfortunately, that's just the beginning. It's like new shoes. You know, the new shoes, the nice new shiny shoes in the shop, is the 5 pillars of branding. That's the introduction. That's going through the identity, impact, influence, and then the secret 5th pillar. But the real work, having to break them in and transition them into the most comfortable shoes, that comes after that. And for that, I have the Disruptor Club Experience, which is a fairly newish membership. It's just started literally the last few weeks. And why I started it is because I've been working with people over the past however many years now. We've been doing VIP days and 3-month intensive programs. But what I really wanted to be able to do, especially during this time where, like I said, everything's so uncertain and people are pivoting and they really want to get this right, what I wanted to do was to provide accountability, provide support, but also provide focus. Because focus and strategy are the 2 things as entrepreneurs and business owners, especially in our field, that get overlooked because we're always looking for the next best thing, or we're always looking for the next thing. We're so busy. You know, someone says, right, let's get a YouTube channel going. Great, we're on YouTube. Right, do you know TikTok is the next great best thing? Oh, I need to learn how to use TikTok. No, what you need is strategy. So we look at your messaging, we look at your marketing, we look at your monetization, and we look at how you create momentum in your business, but all from a strategic point of view. So the Disruptor Club Experience provides all of that. At the moment, we've got founding membership available. So anyone, the first 20 members, get lifetime grandfathered in membership at some ridiculous price. It's £97 a month. It's just so ridiculous. £97 a month. But after those 20 memberships are filled, it is going up. So I would suggest, if you want to know about those, contact me. The best way to contact me is via brandubiz, bit.ly. It's a bit.ly link. brandubiz, capital B, capital Y, capital B. Because that takes you to my virtual business card, and all of my details, my website, everything is on there.
We will make sure that link is at the bottom of the bio part of this episode, so it's really, really easy for people to locate. So my question would be there, Gayle, because this could help so many people move forwards in their business. Who would this really be a perfect match for? What client?
I say all the time, if you feel like you're a square peg, okay, this is for you. If you feel, when somebody answers that, when somebody asks you that question, what do you do? And you feel the verbal diarrhea rising, it's for you. If you're the kind of person that when you're speaking to people, and again you're talking to them about your work, you find that they suddenly have an attack of networker's neck, which is where they're looking all around, this is definitely for you. It's for people who just need the clarity. They need the focus to actually get things done, get things delivered, get to the point where they start making money, but without shame or guilt. Because I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, especially entrepreneurs that may be in the heart space, the spiritual space. I work with a lot of people who feel guilty around money. So I'm a disruptor. So you're not going to come to me and find the standard things about client avatars, and even I have a fame name, but even fame names, I'm not a big fan, but we talk about that in the club. But, I'm the kind of person that's going to turn your thinking on your head. I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to make you look at things in a way that you think, oh, I didn't think I could do that in my business. Why not? You can do anything in your business. It's how you do it. What's the purpose of you doing it? That's what's important. So, like I said, I call that whole discomfort around your business, I call it the square peg syndrome, because it's not right. It's not working for you. So let's do something that works whilst you have some fun with it as well. Let's just do what works.
I would like to add, sometimes we get so busy in getting clients, delivering our product, delivering our service, and you forget the importance of these messaging and the statements. And since I have done the work and really worked on my messaging, I've realised these are the things that should come before everything else. Oh, yeah. The foundation, what you build on. So I personally have worked with Gayle, and I highly, highly recommend her. Reach out to her if you have resonated with what she's saying, if you feel that she could benefit you from what we have spoken about today. Make sure you reach out. She's friendly. She'll have a conversation with you. And
I'm not really friendly.
And she will really help you get clarity with these fundamentals that are needed to build a strong, successful business. Gayle, I have really enjoyed a conversation with you today.
Oh, thank you.
Before I finish our conversation, is there anything I did not cover that you would like to share with our listeners?
Crumbs, we covered so much. There isn't anything that we didn't cover, to be honest. All I would say is that any inkling, it doesn't matter how big or small, sometimes things don't come in waves. Sometimes it's just a little trickle, a little irritation. If there's anything at all that is not sitting right with your business, the chances are it's at the foundational level, at that level of identity, at that level of your personal branding. So by all means, reach out. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. I'm very easy to find. Gayle Edwards, brand new, very easy to find. Just reach out. All I will say is do not, unless you are a big Harry and Meghan fan, do not reach out to me on Twitter, because that is my Sussex tribute account.
I had to laugh, actually. I watched a video of you the other day, and you were talking all about Meghan and Harry. And And also Will.i.am as well.
Oh, there you go. Yes, of course. He was one of my first clients, my first celebrity client.
Now, Gayle, once more, before we leave this conversation, how can our listeners get a hold of you?
The easiest way is obviously Facebook and LinkedIn and all the usuals. But what I would say is, by all means, follow my bit.ly link, bit.ly/brand YOU biz, BIZ. That's really, really easy way as well.
And we'll make sure that is really easy for people to get a hold of. Gayle, thank you so much for being on the Brilliance Business Show. I've really enjoyed a conversation with you.
Thank you so much, Mark. It was lovely. Thank you for asking me. I feel honoured.
It's been my pleasure. You have been listening to the Brilliance Business Show.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.